Hello, and welcome to another edition of Unpopular Reviews Entertainment. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure of letting you know that we are celebrating 20 years of Harry Potter by reviewing all of the Harry Potter movies. So today, we're going to start with 1 and 2. So now, clearly, from the name, you can see I'm the non-magic person. I am a muggle. And joining me this evening is none other than the Potterhead herself. That is a fun, hilarious thing. I love it.
Thank you so much. It's very accurate. Let me tell you something, guys. Vic, I can't believe you went with Muggle.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Because I would definitely have considered you a thoroughbred pureblood. In my opinion, you got that kind of energy, you know, not that you would make fun of people for not being purebred, but it seemed like that would be your style. It's interesting.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. All right. It looks like we're also being joined by really Ravenclaw as well this evening. Nice. Very I like the names tonight.
Hello. I say that because unfortunately I don't have any Ravenclaw merch. I got this for a Halloween party some years ago, and Gryffindor would, it arrived in 2 days. Ravenclaw was a week, so Gryffindor was. But I'm actually in House Ravenclaw.
I was about to say, wow, out here set tripping, and really Ravenclaw.
Yes.
Now, the person that probably knows more about this stuff than anybody in this room, and that is Mr. Mike Potter. Because, and here's the reason why I say that. All you got to do is look at him. Just bring him in. Just look at what he comes with this evening. Wow.
Hello, Amara.
Wow.
Hello, Amara.
Your man got a wand. Your man got a tie. You got the background. Come on, man. Like, woo. Amazing. I love it.
My wife's back here laughing. My wife's back here laughing at me because I said it wrong. The spell. I think Steve was laughing at me too. I said it all wrong. I told you, listen. Osteosporosis. Drink more milk. But let's talk about this. I'm excited. Thanks for having me again, guys.
I'm gonna play a trailer, guys, just so that we get familiarized and get our audience back familiarized with where we're starting from the very beginning, the origin story and backstory to Harry Potter. We're starting from number 1. I'm really excited to share this with you, and here we go, guys.
Did you ever make anything happen? Anything you couldn't explain? You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what? Good afternoon, class. Welcome to your first flying lesson. Stick your right hand over the broom and say up.
Wow, we have the scar. Wicked.
Mr. Potter, our new celebrity.
There's no magics to be used between the classes and the corridors.
Understand this, Harry, because it's very important. Not all wizards are good.
I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed. Or worse, expelled.
She needs to sort out her priorities.
I think it is clear that we can expect great things from you.
And so, for Harry Potter and his friends, another year begins. Education in the magical arts continues. Old rivalries grow stronger.
Slytherin's got a new seeker.
Malfoy. You'll never catch me, Potter!
Something in the school's dark past will be awakened.
The Chamber of Secrets has indeed been opened.
Unless the culprit is caught, it is likely the school will be closed.
Oh dear, we are in trouble.
This year, Warner Brothers Pictures presents
How dare you steal that car!
the next chapter of Harry Potter, where the past will return and the struggle for the future of Hogwarts will begin. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Let us hope that Mr. Potter will always be around to save the day. Don't worry. I will be.
All right. Took me back, all the way back to the movies.
I drink to that.
Right. Drink. So,
Sure did for me too.
let's get right into it. Who would like to go first to share their thoughts about the first film or the second film? I don't know if we're going in order or not.
I'll go first.
I think.
Oh, you
I was gonna say, I
bloody
think we can roll with
muggle.
the
The ladies
punches.
should go first. Either a Potterhead or a Ravenclaw.
No, let the muggles go. Let the muggles go.
All right. Why do I call myself a muggle? Here's the thing. I'm one of those people. One of those people that only saw the first movie and then didn't follow everything else. At the time, I think it was 2001. I was just graduating high school. I wasn't necessarily into it. I just wasn't. I didn't pick it up. I saw the first movie and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And that's it. But as far as continuing to watch the third and the fourth and the fifth, no, I didn't do that. So part of me is happy that I did that, but then the other part of me is incredibly regretful because this was great. Yeah, and now I get it. I'm starting to get it now. I see the hype. And mind you, and I was saying earlier in the group that I'm actually thinking about going to the Harry Potter store and going to 23rd Street that they have and getting a wand and doing all of that because this.
Oh, you getting a wand?
Popping. I mean, no, and mind you, here's the crazy thing. Like I was saying earlier, we went to Universal Studios and in California, and we went into the whole Harry Potter thing, and I went into the store and all of that, and we bought wands for other people that were into this stuff because I wasn't into it, but it was nice to take pictures and be like, Harry Potter, whatever. You know what I mean? But now that I see the movie, I regret not paying more attention to the movie prior to going to Universal Studios because I went over there like, I want to try some butterbeer because I still don't know what that's about.
I haven't had it either, but I always wanted to have it. But you know what? Now that we're talking about it, a couple episodes ago, I think we were talking about Hawkeye, and Vic had like the best background with all the books, and I said, "Yo, look like you in Diagon Alley." I wish you would have that same background this time.
Next week, I got you.
All right, man.
I'm just mad I wasn't a friend of his at the time because he's giving out wands and shit. So,
Right?
They do run about
good.
They do
ain't
run about
cheap,
$50. Yeah,
they're not cheap.
I mean, it wasn't. But I see. Here's the thing: like when you be a tourist, you just accept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do.
You know what I mean? So where else am I gonna go to get a better price? You feel me? Like I'm in
price
Amazon.
shop wands. Get some janky wand from Amazon.
You hear me? See, right? Amazon.
Ron Weasley wand.
My beautiful wand, which was kind of expensive, came from Amazon. The ones that were at Universal Studios at Diagon Alley were not better than this one, but were more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. So when the time comes, we'll talk more about that.
It comes in a fancy box with a feather and all of that and all the flags. Anyway. Bottom line is, the CGI in this movie is just insane. I don't think they could have made it at any other time. I think that as time passes, I think things are just going to get better because all this magic, all of this stuff, it's just wild. But the cool thing is that the story about Harry Potter is pretty compelling because he's literally finding out more and more and more about himself as things go on. Not to give out too much, but that's more than anything. That's what I like about it. It's just that as he keeps going on in his journey through school, he's learning more and more about himself. Because the cool thing is that he's like, mind you, as soon as he gets into his Hogwarts world, everybody's like, oh, Potter.
Everybody knows him by name.
What are you talking about? Like shoe fly? What? Huh? And so, you know, that all of that I love. So before I talk too much, wow, it's 10 minutes already. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's totally fine because that trailer was about 5 minutes in itself. Vic, I was gonna say I'm really excited that you're watching or kind of going through this as an adult, because I went through it back as soon as everything was coming out. We were seeing it, me and my family. I definitely remember being swept up in the Potter and Hogwarts craze, beginning with the books. I was encouraged by my mom. I always was an avid reader, and it just really envelops you. Like you said, it's a compelling story, and it's reminiscent of a lot of different stories that I love. The Wizard of Oz, Annie, and a lot of those kind of growing up and coming into your own at the same time and learning to love and trust yourself stories that I always loved growing up. So this really encaptured that kind of theme. Also, it was young kids doing daring things and going on adventures. And it really demonstrated a level of friendship that I think we all aspire to, which I thought was really cool back then. Now, that being said, my name is Potterhead, but I don't have a wand. I don't have no scarves, and I'm not, going to Harry Potter land in London. Like, that's not my season of fan. I'm very a casual. So I do know some things. I don't know people's names and whatnot, but I'm just not all into the lore and all of that stuff. I've taken the hat quiz multiple times. I just believe as a growing human being that you're allowed to change houses. I don't feel committed to any particular house. It's not that serious.
Wait, didn't you get Ravenclaw? Aren't you in my house?
Originally, I did get Ravenclaw, but I've gotten Hufflepuff as well in my life at some point. Oh. Now, my first one was Ravenclaw, but eventually I did get Hufflepuff. It happened.
Gryffindor!
I tested for Ravenclaw and Slytherin.
As you grow, you change as a person, and I think that it's very fitting to take it at different phases of your life, much like watching this movie now.
See, now this whole thing feels Game of Thrones. That's the other part.
As a 32-year-old, all I kept thinking watching Sorcerer's Stone was, "Whew, this childish as hell." This is quite childish.
If you don't mind, I would love to go next to piggyback off of that Potterhead, because
of course.
Unlike you guys, I was a grown man watching this in 2001. All right. I graduated high school in 94. So you do the math. All right. So for me, it's just, I've always been into even when I was a kid, CBS every year would play the Harry Potter cartoon. Okay. And at the time,
cartoon?
There was not an animated movie, shall I say, not a cartoon. Right. Same thing with Lord of the Rings that came out around the same time. And if you remember at that time, it was always a battle between fans. That's when fans that I can remember started battling on this versus this. And it was, if you liked Harry Potter, you couldn't like, that one. And my thing was always like, well, I like Potter more because it's more kid friendly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I've always been that type. Go ahead. I see you want to chime in. Go ahead. I see you biting at the chop, Potterhead.
Oh, I was just gonna say.
Oh, okay, you're agreeing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I definitely felt that same energy. And I was kind of almost too old for Harry Potter once the movie started to come out, but I still went because you're a fan and you want to see how they depict it in live action. Like Vic said, there were some pretty decent CGI moments. Mm-hmm. There were also hellishly horrifying
bad ones,
CGI
like the snake in the first one. Like the snake.
The snake in the first one. Let me ask you a question.
Quidditch match.
They weren't talking.
For that time, though. Like, come on, man.
Okay, but they weren't talking, but the snake is gesturing and shaking his head no in yes or no questions, but they're talking. You know what I'm saying? And then in the book, it's like it's a snake's conversation. So it's just a situation.
Right. Because Harry because that's when they found out that Harry knew how to talk he knew how to speak snake, right? But
there's just different things like that they don't depict in the film as well as it happened in the book. But I leave it to you, Mike.
But at this part, I loved Harry Potter because at this point, remember, DVDs was a big thing, right? I come out of the collecting CDs and tapes to when you like a good movie, you go buy the DVD. And I remember always being mad. Like later on, my wife went back and got me the box set. It was like, well, shit, the first two movies were only in HD. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, movie 3, 4, and et cetera, they're all in Blu-ray. So I got these two that are straight, and then I get mad. My daughter wasn't a big fan of Harry Potter. My other children today, they say they've watched and I know they've watched them all, but they're not Harry Potter fans. I'm a guy. I've gone to Diagon Alley. I have the wand. I got this goddamn tie costs $45. Let's be real. It's a tie. It's not even silk. It's like I read what it
brush cotton, huh?
It's exactly shit. Don't even say. That's how bad it is. Made in China. That's all that says. Yep. Made in China. Anywho, polyester. Right? But when you like something, you like something. And I thought this movie was always good for kids and younger. And like you said, I'm not a fan of the books. I know a lot of people read the books. And I always love hearing people who read the books comparison to the movies. Right? The first time I ever wanted to actually go read this book was when it got to the end, which we'll talk about later on, was, oh, the ending in the books is way better than it is in the movies. And it's like, wow, I love the movie's ending. Let me go get the book now. So I'm excited to see what she had to say. But as you can see, I'm all, Gryffindor out. And I will Dumbledore you in this conversation, Mrs. Ravenclaw.
All right. Very nice. Thank you so much. So a couple things. I read the books. I read the books when they came out. I was a big Harry Potter fan, right? And this is the first time I remember a book series that I was familiar with come to the big screen. And it was really exciting when it came out. And when I was watching it when I was younger, very much into it, like hugely. I would play, like, even me and my cousins, I would make them play Harry Potter with me in the backyard. They had like
see, I used to play Harry Potter.
Making potions with your cauldron.
We were making potions. We had our own characters. We had twigs. There were our wands because they had like woods in the backyard. So we was out there like Expecto Patronum.
It's the only one I know. Expecto Patronum. That's the only one I know.
Oh, so I've always been a big fan. So rewatching it now, I did notice some things, but it still holds a place in my heart. So I think of it as Chris's Street Fighter. You know how it was just a bad movie, but he still loved it for whatever reason. But Harry Potter's a good movie. That's the only difference. Harry Potter's a good movie.
I mean, no, Raul Julia was really good at that movie. Van Damme is the one who ruined that movie.
A couple things I did notice as an adult that I didn't notice as a child, like when the opening scene where we got Dumbledore, he's holding baby Harry, him and Professor McGonagall, and they drop him off at the aunt and uncle's house, but they're aware that the aunt and uncle are horrible people.
Mm-hmm. I never thought that made sense either.
No, and poor McGonagall was like, yo, these people ain't, we can find someone else. And Dumbledore and all his genius was like, they're his blood, he belongs.
It's like, that is such a cop-out. Dumbledore,
yes.
you know damn well.
It's the bloodline.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Nah, yo. He know damn well that he could have adopted him or fostered him for a little while.
They run a school.
He could have been a ward of Hogwarts. Just
was
like
anybody ever disappointed that they
Hagrid.
wasn't like the grandparents? Because I've always thought, and I didn't read the books at all, I always thought Professor McGonagall was his grandmother somehow. That would come out somewhere. That never came out. Neither was Dumbledore. And I always thought like that. At least I thought Professor McGonagall was related to him somehow, some way, and he never came out to be that way.
But I will say, when that opening scene happens and a couple scenes after, like when the letters and stuff start coming through, I thought that was really well done with the owls and everything, just really magical. And that's one thing they really captured the magical aspect of the books, I feel like in the movies. But again, it made me raise an eyebrow because the letters are freaking addressed to Harry Potter in the cupboard. They literally have the cupboard on the address, so they know he's living.
I gotta go back and see that. That's dope.
Under the stairs.
Yes, they know he's being treated like trash, and they did nothing.
Yeah,
so,
that's
low-key,
pretty
they're
whack.
accomplices. That's what I'm gonna say.
You know what? They probably allowed. I'm gonna tell you why they probably allowed it, because one, you know, with all of the celebrity and money and access that Harry came into, like this after turning 11, like had he not been mistreated as long as he was and like humbled, he could have been a Draco Malfoy in the making. Okay, and we would have seen
Draco.
Well,
So he had
he's
to go through the
just a
struggle.
little snivelly, weaselly brat, and nobody likes that. And this movie did really well in demonstrating how starkly different they were.
I think Muggle likes them.
Oh,
I mean, you know, the thing is, I feel like that whole situation is very Cinderella. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
You know, he needed to, like, he needed to be humbled, and mind you, they had the little. Just like in Cinderella, they had the little fat people there, always poking at Cinderella. You know what I mean? And the little chubby kid, he was clearly. Imagine if that little chubby kid was a wizard. Oh my God, he'd be the worst. You know?
Yeah.
So like,
but yeah, it was magical. And I will say, when I got a little older, right, I started reading, like, after I was done with the books, I started reading like the fan fictions and stuff online. And the people were loving Draco. Every other story was Draco, right?
You wanted to cheer for him, right? You kind of did, because you want a redemption story. You wanted him to not be bad.
He was the bad boy, so everybody was liking the bad boy a little bit. But I was
a little hater, yo. He really was a hater. He embodied a hater, and he was like, what's the kid's name in No Way Home who hated on
Flash?
He was hating on Peter, but then like, turned around and wanted to be his friend when he realized it was Spider-Man. Like, bitch, no. Oh, excuse me. Like, back then you didn't want me, now how you're all on me. I'm afraid not. We're not doing it
when you're the chosen one. I mean, who doesn't want to be next to the chosen one? I mean, like the trailer played, he has the scar. You know?
Yeah, that was okay. Of course he'll want to befriend him, but you don't do that by hating on somebody that he clearly walked up in the club with. Like, how you about to hate on his mans? You see
that's
them
because
high-fiving and going on the train. How you about to, you know what I'm saying?
The Weasleys and the Malfoys got that old school beef, because even the daddy wasn't messing with none of the Weasleys.
They go back.
That's true.
They all go back, which is why we, you know, when we talk about Fantastic Beasts one day, we get into that and the prequels to these stories that we're watching and we're going to discuss tonight.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's what that is.
Oh, I just wanted to bring up the Professor Quill at the end of it. He ended up being the bad guy, and when they unwrapped, when he took out his bonnet and revealed the face of Voldemort. Back in the theaters, I remember it was scary, but when we were watching that, it was a little smidge corny, but you know, they did what they had to do.
I mean, so was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man today, but back then it was cool.
It wasn't that bad. They had to dumb it down because there's such young audiences that were coming to see these movies. And I actually have a picture of what the original design for him was.
Ooh,
that's terrifying, right?
Yes.
Like this,
they both terrifying
to me.
This one's way scarier. That one with the teeth and everything.
Yeah,
that's scary.
To me, that's what I pictured as I was reading the book, the description. I imagined something that was just not humanoid for real. That's something that was more lizard-like you said, more snake-like, and just not human, devoid of emotion, and just scary, petrifying. And that would have made more sense to me, but you know, I'm an adult now, so of course I'm going to take cheap shots of, this is Kitty. You know, like I'm thinking of, is this the first one? Because these two just blended in my mind at some point, because they had a format and they stuck to it for these first two. For me, the series didn't really kick into high gear until book 3, but we'll talk about that next show.
See,
now
for me, I think it was Goblet of Fire. Everybody loves Prisoner of Azkaban. For me, it was the Goblet of Fire when I said, okay, that's when I told Lord of the Ring fans, take a notice. And you know what I mean? And nothing against Lord of the Rings. I like them both, right? But I think when you hit Goblet of Fire, they're adult teenagers. And that's when it really starts to go. And I see your Prisoner of Azkaban thing as well. Like they were on that cusp of then as well. But for me, Goblet of Fire, that was like, holy moly. boom, let's get it started. Let's go. We're going to go to war.
In 3, they really give you a lot of payoff for that amount of time you spend in that movie. And it's totally set apart from all the other films. It's a great standalone movie, and it just adds a bunch of different layers and more to his story and the background of his family. That was really interesting. But I'm going to save that for next week. This one, guys, the chess game where it's like, oh no. And it's just, for me,
I'm like, why was he even on top of it?
I'm like, why are they writing the pieces? Just
as long as you don't pick on Hermione Granger.
Oh, I would never.
The reason why I watched Perks of a Wallflower was because she was in that movie.
She's queen.
She is queen, but she was definitely off to the side. She was like, y'all get on them pieces. I'll be in the back.
Well, she was the smartest one. And she came off all the time like
her.
she knew better than them, you know?
They needed her to last until whatever final task there was. So.
Without her, nothing could be done in this movie. Let's just be real. In any of these films, she is the MVP next to Harry Potter.
Hell yeah.
For that.
I would argue she's Dumbledore's favorite.
That's funny.
Absolutely.
I was thinking
you
about
guys know how the Twilight series, how they have the book retold through Edward's perspective. I think it's called Midnight Sun, right? I'll be here for a Harry Potter from Hermione's perspective, low key. I might be here for one shot.
If they make her black.
I want the blood curse so bad. That's why I want the blood curse so bad. Am I the only person? Vic, I know you're trying to get into your mic. I'm not sure if you're coming through, but I hate Ron and Hermione. I just think fans wanted Harry and Hermione.
Yeah,
and I'm that fan who wanted Harry. They're the best two to go. Nothing against Ron. I love Ron, right? But Harry and Hermione would have just been a power couple in so many ways.
I think so too. But I mean,
are they saving Harry for somebody later on? Is that
no? He gets with Ron's. He gets with Ron's sister.
No spoilers, guys.
Oh, shit! My bad.
Although they do first first start having their romantic moments and coming together at the end of this movie. So I think that's okay to kind of get into.
Because in the beginning of the movie, she's just giving him the cheese, and then the brother's like, "Oh,
because this is her older brother's best friend."
It was weird.
Oh, you don't shut up about you, and I was like, "Oh, all right, cool." You know
yeah, she definitely had a little childhood crush on him, right? And then apparently anyway, no spoilers, right? But I will say in the second one, we got what's his name? Gilderoy, that professor. It was like all the girls were all swooning over him, and I'm like, for what? He's
with the comb over.
Yes,
he didn't want to have the comb over, right?
Even Ron's mom, that was wild. Like that was
yes, everybody was in love with him. So that was weird, but I will say at the very end of this movie, that's what I found it so hilarious, right? After we are in the Chamber of Secrets and we got Jenny, she's on the floor passed out, right? And Tom Riddle's over her body. So Tom Riddle takes Harry's wand, right? And then he summons the snake. So the snake is coming out of the mouth, right? And Jenny, keep in mind, Jenny's passed out on the ground. The first thing Harry does, he books it back down
right,
just completely leaving her.
I was like, he ain't no hero. How you just about to dip out on her like this?
I thought he warned her before he dipped.
He didn't say nothing.
Jenny,
drag her.
Wake up, Jenny.
Yeah, that's the token. Jenny, gotta go. I mean, Forrest Gump told you, Jenny, it's time to go.
But he definitely left her. And if it wasn't for the Phoenix, she would have been bit up and he would have been dead. So the Phoenix came through, and I did like the Phoenix when they did show him close up. It was like that puppetry kind of thing, really old school. But I appreciate
like animatronic.
That, right? Yeah, I thought it was nice to see again.
As an Entourage fan, I love that word, animatronic.
Yeah, it was good to see.
Entourage, that's my greatest TV show of all time.
Oh yeah, okay. A greatest of all time. You're giving the goat hood. Okay.
For me, not for anybody else. I said for me.
Gotcha.
I can put that show on anytime, anywhere, any place. Don't matter.
That's one of my favorites.
I'll give Turtle the goat level of white dude I would give some play. He's on
lost all that weight.
No, he on the list. Oh no, I like them chunky.
AKA Proctor, who don't know what we're talking about when we say turtle. He becomes Proctor for you and a box fans.
Curly head guy, curly hair, black hair.
You ever see Power?
Not black hair.
Okay, so then you wouldn't know. Anyway. Okay, you ever see what's Steve Harvey's movie?
Power
Think Like a Man. He was the one who was going out with Gabrielle Union. That was her man. Never seen Think Like a Man 1 or 2?
Come on, they're so funny.
I don't watch.
They are hilarious.
You have to at least hate watch them. Like
I don't watch a lot of those.
It's not like we watch Tyler Perry movies for the love of them. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to see it. It's a cultural, it's like part of the thing. But anyway, what if I think now, what if Harry Potter was
Medea goes to
Hogwarts?
Medea goes to Hogwarts.
Medea goes to Hogwarts.
That would be real though.
Professor in Dark Arts, Medea.
You know what? All them kids would get beat. And which is appropriate because them kids was breaking all the rules. Talk about bias too with Dumbledore having Gryffindor win at the end. What's up with that?
500 points from Gryffindor house.
What's up with that? They was messing up all year.
But that was his house.
Yeah. He's biased towards it.
He's biased.
Yeah,
you can tell that him, Professor McGonagall. That's what I like about the series, and that's what I thought the first two movies definitely showed. They showed you who was on what sides to me. Again, they let you go for the movie, which we get. Snape was the one that threw everyone off because he seems like he doesn't like Harry. But he was there the whole entire. Well, again, moving right.
No matter how the outcome is, I still think he don't like Harry.
He just said it. Well, he was in love with his mother.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But we want to make sure we touch on the certain items at the appropriate time.
Yes,
that's why it's no spoilers.
Effecto Fermundo.
Exactamundo.
But say, where's your brush at? Where your brush at? Girl?
I lost it. Oh my god, my table has brushes all over it.
My eyebrow pencil.
I have this. I got this. Is too many. I got a hairbrush. There's.
But when you look at this first movie, you said we're dating back 20 years, which is insane, right? Like my oldest is 24. Okay, so. You're dating back 20 years in these movies that has lasted, and can we say it's gone with generation from the books to the movies, right? And so it's ushered us into a whole new level of entertainment, right? Like people say The Matrix is responsible for a lot of special effects in movies. I think Harry Potter showed Marvel how to have the blueprint of having a universe, right? Mm-hmm. So because you look at Harry Potter, it completely gave us a universe. We grew with those kids. I look at those kids now and I go, damn, they're in their 30s. I feel like they're babies still to me. And not because they're not grown, it's because I've seen them as children grow up. And you go back to these first two movies, again, going to Potterland, whatever it's called, in Wizard Wonderland and at Universal Studios, I was like a baby going on the train. Going to Hogwarts, and my wife, we did it backwards for summer. I don't know how we ended up in Gaga Alley before we got to Gaga Alley. So we went backwards, closed our eyes on the whole train wide in reverse, and then rode it back so I could see it from the beginning. But you look at it when he first gets there, like you're talking about, having the money already, right? Where Ron's struggling to have good equipment and good, a rat is his damn pet. You know what I mean? Where Harry gets this beautiful owl, this beautiful wand, the beautiful broom. His dressings, his food, Harry was royalty in these movies, and you see why maybe Malfoy was against him and other people were against him because he was the chosen one, and people don't like the chosen one. And I thought, as a fan, to see them come from, watching that growth of Harry, you saw how he gained people's respect. And that's one of the things I love about this series. I loved about the first couple of movies. He was gaining people. They were picking sides. Why do you like Harry? Why are you against Harry? And you had those people who were just fanboys of Harry. Like, oh, that's Harry Potter. That's my friend. And no matter what, you know what I mean? So I loved how the progression, especially again, this first movie and what it showed, that chess scene you spoke about. You spoke about the snake. those things to me, again, I'm full blown adult at this point. They were magical, even still to me, at watching those things on screen. Like I said, you go back to any movie at those times, special effects may become outdated, but at the time they're being made, they're fantastic. And I thought Harry Potter showed the world how to do a magical movie, which we haven't had. You brought it up earlier, Potterhead, since the likings of like a Wizard of Oz or something along those lines, that can show you completely this magical world. If I miss a movie in there somewhere, then oh well. But, I love your comparison to Wizard of Oz, to Harry Potter. I loved what they did in Hollywood with that film.
So I'm definitely giving both of these movies a thumbs up. I thought that they had each movie does mature a little bit. I don't know that each movie you can see it does start off a little kiddie, and every movie gets a little bit more mature. So thumbs up for me for both of them.
I'm gonna have to say the same. It's also 2 thumbs up for me. I was just really totally up in it in theaters soon as it dropped. Christmas Day, like me and the family were all up in it. Like it's a whole thing. I'm into Hermione, obviously. I was her, she is me. I was the frizzy-haired know-it-all, raising my hand all the time in class.
Hermione? I'm sorry.
Hermione. I call her
Hermione.
I'm American, so I say Hermione. Now, as a for your British accent, go for it.
Oh,
but
I suck at
it's Hermione for me.
All that I can say in British is Hermione Granger. I suck at everything else. That's it. My wife thinks that's horrible too. Y'all might think it's bad too. I think I'm good at that one. I got that down pat to me.
Yeah, well, in my mind, she was black in the book, so Hermione probably is more accurate.
Okay, girl.
But it's 2 thumbs up for me, definitely.
He adds an extra M. Hermione. You know I can't spell. Don't talk about me on air.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I hear you now.
Cool. Well, I have a question. First of all, how do you guys get a house? Because you're sitting there talking about that you have a house and you were part of this house.
I'll send you the link. You got to go to Pottermore and you answer some questions, and you can they'll assign you your Hogwarts house.
Okay, cool, good to know.
Yeah, now, send that to me too, because I want to make sure I'm there. Because I take a lot of tests online, and 90% of the time it's the same house. But I've got a couple of times where I was some other house, and that pisses me off.
I said go with the first one. I got Ravenclaw first, then I tested it and I got Slytherin.
That's why I stay in Gryffindor.
Okay,
but go ahead, Vic. Thumbs up or thumbs down? What were you saying?
Well, from as a Muggle, I'm definitely gonna say thumbs up. Why am I saying thumbs up? Because I'm interested in seeing the third movie. Now, some spoilers, we're just giving up. So now that kind of makes me a little bit more interested. Why? Because now I'm invested in the characters. Everybody's hype about Hermione. I think that she's great. I think that she's spunky. I think that she's brilliant. And anybody would want a daughter like that, honestly. Like that's the thing. Anybody would want, because you already know that she's going to be huge. She gives me an Arya Stark type of feel. This girl, and mind you, and here's the thing, people compare this a lot to the Lord of the Rings. I was interested in the Lord of the Rings because I read The Hobbit in high school, and a lot of people read those books, or at least were, appointed those books in school. Now, when it comes to Harry Potter,
horrible book,
huh?
Horrible, dry, long, boring book.
Yeah, but the thing about it is just that a lot of people were interested in that because of that whole situation. I remember these books coming out in '97, but I don't know if there was any Potter stuff prior to that. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But
see, now I feel like I'm retarded, because I could have swore I watched the cartoon on CBS back in the day, but now I know for a fact there was one for Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. I know that Lord of the Rings.
I don't remember a cartoon.
I know that Lord of the Rings dates back to the 70s. I know that, but but this stuff, the fact that they both came out at the same time, and they both, because they had the technology to do it, and it was amazing. And you know, we're looking at it now with our 2022 lenses. Wow, 2022, Dios mío. We're looking at it with these lenses, like, oh, okay, it could have been better, this and that. I'm the old, with my old lenses over here, looking at it like, yay, that was great, but at the same time, I'm looking at it fresh. Anyway, I dragged that out way too long. I'm so sorry. Two thumbs.
All right.
Can
I give it 2 wands up?
Man.
2 wands up. We'll take it. We don't
2 wands up. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this with Vic. What I love about myself is that I know that I can take any. I try anyway to not watch any movie with expectations, because expectations going into any film can disappoint you. When you go into a film thinking it's going to be this, is going to be that, and it's not this or that, then you think the movie's bad when it's not really a bad movie. So I love going into movies like this one, just wanting to see something entertaining. You know what I mean? And I remember comparing, like you said, it, because I have friends of mine that, I'm that guy who on the corner in East New York with a Brandy t-shirt on. And that's just what I did. I didn't care. You know what I mean? But I also had friends who were like, man, you watching Harry Potter when there's Lord of the Rings? And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of dark for me. You know what I mean? And you look at Harry Potter, and some would still call Harry Potter dark because Disney made the mistake of not buying Harry Potter when they actually asked them to buy it first. And Walt Disney didn't. And I'm glad by that, because I think Disney would have probably ruined Harry Potter in a sense. I know for a fact that it made the Wizarding World better than what Universal Studio has, because Disney puts into effect for that. But these films were just so good. They were trendsetters, like I said earlier. Movies like Avatar, The Last Airbender suffered because they were afraid to make it like Harry Potter. If you're a fan of Avatar, The Last Airbender, I think the movie should have been built like Harry Potter was, in series, giving it time to grow and fester. And that's what also made Harry Potter great for me, because it knew its audience. It knew what it could produce. It knew there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 movies before it's done. So you had a chance to grow with it and enjoy it. And I have enough to say about the movie. Back then, hell no. In 2001, those graphics were amazing. So two wands up for me.
All right. So do we have anything to announce? I know we're maybe doing a show on Thursday about Potterhead. Are you... Oh, maybe not. Well, join us.
Maybe not. Join us to find out.
You know what?
9 o'clock Thursday night, wherever you stream
us YouTube videos.
Exactly.
We got something popping. But
don't forget to like the video, and join us whenever we do the next one.
Bye. Did you give it 2 thumbs up?
I did.
Yeah,
definitely. She did give it 2 thumbs up.
I gave it 2 thumbs up.
I'll say one last thing I wanted to highlight before we go is I did see someone that looked familiar here, at least in energy, and it's the janitor. He really reminded me of Chris so much, like his energy. The level of miserableness that this janitor demonstrated, especially toward these kids. He's so bitter, like. I really wish Chris could have watched.
Wakes up and be angry for no reason.
Exactly. I wish Chris could have watched this movie so that he could really understand. You know.
Yo, you guys are hilarious.
I'm gonna send me that picture, E, because I'm gonna put his face on that picture.
Oh man.
Definitely. But join us Thursday night for a surprise, as we're full of them.
Oh, but don't tell them about Saturday though. See, we got a big show for them, for our Cobra Kai fans out there.
Oh,
Saturday, we're reviewing Cobra Kai season 4. Are you Eagle Fang? Are you Miyagi-Do? Are you Cobra Kai? Do you have a long ponytail and want to beat up old people or hang with old or young people like my man Stingray? Come talk to us, you Cobra Kai fans. I've been a fan since 1984. Fuck with me.
You know what? Here's the thing. That's a show.
Bye.